We'll no hang about here, we'll get into it. We're live and interactive on a Celtic state of mind. Right, man, I am going to go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
MBE. I don't know if my sound is okay or not, John, because the connection on this microphone is terrible. So I'm going to do it again. Hello and welcome to another television review from MBE. We are into episode 9 of Wandavision, the finale. It's all over for the time being. And we'd just like to thank you once again for joining us here on our YouTube channel and our Twitch stream. I am joined, of course, with co-host John C. Walsh, and I am Stephen John McLaughlin. We'd like to thank you once again for joining us. I'm sure everywhere on the internet is talking about this episode, John. I know they're doing it on social media. I stayed off social media all day because I didn't watch the episode until 10 o'clock tonight. That's UK time. And yeah, I think we'll just get right into this, John.
Literally, as soon as I woke up.
Yeah, I know you were looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to it too, but we'll get into that, obviously, when we do the review. But I'm going to hand it over to you now anyway, so you can guide us through this review experience.
Yes, and I'm sure it will be an experience, Stephen, as ever. Look, we had...
Always is, yeah.
We had lots of predictions, didn't we, Stephen? I done a show last night. It was a nightmare of a show. I was macroing all over the place. Wrong macros, right macros. Some of my predictions came true. Some of them not so much, but that's the beauty of entertainment and consuming it and dissecting it and commentating on it and reviewing it. You will make a complete tit of yourself at times. Other times you'll be made to look as though you actually know what you're talking about. And Stephen, none more so does that happen than in this episode, where a whole variety of shit happens, and right from the get-go we have some stuff happening, some very interesting things happening. Indeed, it takes place right after that cliffhanger from episode 8. Agatha is facing off with the two kids. Strangling, is that the correct term? In the midst of strangling. Wanda's looking very menacing, facing off outside against her. We get right into it. They don't really muck around, Stephen. They essentially shows that Agatha is this power-hungry, I'll feast on your power type. We knew that anyway from the Salem Witch Trials intro from, I think, the last episode. And she essentially explains to Wanda, you have all the power, but you have no knowledge. And the quote, I think she says, and I will quote this, I take power from the underserving. It's kind of my thing. You're clearly in over your head, in over your little red head. What did you make about that intro, Stephen? I love the fact they didn't mess around. They get right into it. Yeah. And I enjoyed that start. We're getting a comment here on Twitch. Hello there, here to listen. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming in, man. Do appreciate it.
Hello.
Hopefully you can understand us. We are from Scotland.
Understand. Yeah.
And most of the world finds us quite unintelligible and difficult to understand. So if you can understand us, that's half the battle. And we'll try to make it interesting. But look, Stephen, what did you make about this intro? Of course, White Vision saunters in as well. That's... Saunters means arrives into the X, and we think he's going to embrace Wanda, and no, he tries to crush her head. What did you make about that intro? I loved it, man. I loved the fact there was no time wasted. Right in 40-minute episode, Stephen. Not long enough for me, but at least
you were right about the credits, John. They're on for about 9 minutes. We'll get to the end credits as well, but it was I think this is the first time. We've continued on. There was a cliffhanger at the end of the last episode, and it continued on. It's normally quite segmented, but this was a continuation. Well, it had to be because of the way it left us hanging last week. It was frenetic, John. It was full energy. We were getting to see, obviously, Agatha in full glory this time. I felt we were just getting
fingertips.
We were just kind of getting to know her in the last episode and what she was all about mentally. In this one, it was all about the physicality and her power. And she didn't mess about. Wanda didn't mess about either. It was no holds barred. And you're absolutely right. We get the White Vision coming in. Wanda being so gullible, thinking, yeah.
Before that, there was the voice thing. She fires the car off of Agatha.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
That little callback to where was the voice. That was beautiful, wasn't it?
I think, John, it's important. Yeah, I think it's important as well, anyone tuning in. This is going to be spoiler heavy.
Yeah. Oh, Stephen, you're away. It went a little bit intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic. Another dimension.
Am I okay now?
You're okay now, Stephen.
Okay, thank you very much for that, John.
Keep
me right, because this mic has seen better days, I think. But it's not designed for handheld, as you know. It should be on a desktop. But we're doing our best to bring the shows live and interactive here. But yeah, it was a great spoiler heavy. So if you've not seen the episode yet, you might want to come back or not. It's up to yourself. Depends on if you like us or not. Oh, but that ending, John. Tobey fucking Maguire appearing as Peter Parker. What the hell? I couldn't believe it. Wow.
Yes, people coming in and watching this thinking it's getting spoiled, they will run away screaming, and then they'll come back and want to kill you, Stephen, in a couple of days.
How good did he look? Wow, I couldn't believe
Stephen,
it.
There was rumours on social media last night that Tobey had been seen on the set of No Way Home. I looked on Twitter, it was nowhere to be seen. It was some bullshit description from Twitter, the actual official Twitter account. So I was raging about that. We've got another comment from Mike Porter on Twitch, Stephen. Says we're very intelligent, whatever. I can understand, I'm from the southern United States, I have a southern accent. Well, the south will rise again, man, like Joey Tribbiani said, Stephen. That's just big foul play. I love a southern accent. I love the south of the United States, man. Hopefully get to go there one day and experience it, though not in Texas when it's snowing, because we get too much snow here in Scotland as it is. Stephen, you're right. They didn't muck around. It was balls to the walls action. She's sucking the power out of Wanda. She is goading Wanda. And of course, White Vision comes in, and Hex Vision, right off the bat, starts his little duology with him. Duel, not duology. Wrong choice of word. Stephen, I'll get into this just now before I get into the other points. Did you like the way they segmented this finale? Because it kind of splits into three distinctive perspectives. First perspective, obviously, Agatha v Wanda. Second perspective, the two visions facing off. And the third one is the kids and Monica facing off against the army and director Hayward, if he is a director. Yeah. Is that something you enjoyed? Is that something that made the experience of this finale a little bit more consumable, more enjoyable? It wasn't over on you and sensory overload. Is that something you liked, the way they split it up? Because I certainly enjoyed it.
It was almost like a mini Infinity War ending with three different things happening in different places. And I always like when films do that, you know, they segment it and it's all sort of intertwining, you know, and it's all running parallel and all the other fancy words that you want. It's a great way of storytelling, John, and it's great. It keeps everything moving. It's good for pacing, you know, and it keeps it. Not that Wandavision can bore you at any point. No. It certainly doesn't. It's just non-stop, but it's a good way of just keeping everything in track and keeping everything sort of flowing. And I thought they did it well. The director, I can't remember his name. I said him last night, but I didn't realise it was the same director for every episode. He's done a fine job. Yeah, I know. We'll get into that as well, John. But consistency was the key throughout this season, though, but we'll talk about that as well.
Stephen, look, we'll get into cameos that weren't to be. In a way, I'm glad they weren't to be. I says it before we came on. It's Wandavision. It's about Wanda, Maximoff, and Vision. And they followed that right through to the very end, and that's something that's almost perfect for this TV show. But Stephen, we'll get into cameos just now. I'll go to myself just to get this off my chest.
I will check the sound, John.
Before I allow you in. Ralph Boner, in brackets, Boner, the correct spelling, and Boner with a H. Ralph Boner. He's revealed, we know who Agatha's partner is. It's Ralph, it's Pietro, or Fietro, I should say. I've says in my notes, why even cast Kevin Peters for that, Stephen? A complete waste of fucking time, let's be honest. This guy was so good as the Quicksilver in Fox. I thought he was far superior to the great Aaron Taylor-Johnson, and I do love Aaron Taylor-Johnson as an actor. I was excited when this guy get cast and it was confirmed he was appearing in this TV show. We get the moment, and it's almost immediately apparent to you that this isn't the correct Pietro, but you're going along and you're hoping perhaps it could be a Pietro, a Quicksilver from another universe, maybe not the Fox universe, but a glimpse into something very similar to the Fox universe. It's a similar character, the same actor, but different. Not to be, Stephen, he is Ralph Bohner. What did you make about that reveal? I thought it was bitterly disappointing. It was one of the things I didn't enjoy about the finale. I enjoyed pretty much everything, but this is the one thing that stuck in my closet, like you say, my throat. I didn't enjoy it. I thought Feige was hoodwinking the fans. He knew casting this actor, we'd immediately draw comparisons to Fox, those X-Men movies, and think that he is Quicksilver, but bring them into the MCU wasn't to be. And I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact they're playing this off as a joke as well. Boner, I've seen other channels, they're laughing their heads off at it. They seem to love it. I think Evan Peters demands more respect in that, Stephen.
I think because, John, both characters in Pietro and Vision were handled exactly the same, John. They could only exist as long as Wanda wanted them there, you know. It turns out, obviously, that Pietro was a manipulation from
Agatha.
Yeah.
Stephen, there was someone suggested that Pietro from Age of Ultron could have been getting his powers enhanced by Wanda in that movie as well, and that because she was so far away, distracted, that's how he bit the bullet. Of course, literal bit the bullet. I don't think that was the case, personally. I think Quicksilver actually had his own skill set.
Sometimes as well, John, you can take the characters very easily as well if they're well written, and the characters in maybe not so much Pietro, but certainly Peter in the X-Men films, you could take to. Certainly in Days of Future Past and Apocalypse, Evan Peters played the role very well. Paul Bettany, the same with Vision. Loved the character from Age of Ultron onwards. And you do connect with them, you get attached to them. So sometimes when characters like that, Black Widow, they're killed off, and sometimes storytelling wise, for it to make sense, they just can't come back unless it's some kind of supernatural reason. In the case of Pietro turning up at the door, like, you've got to look at the bigger picture. It doesn't really make any sense why he would be there and why he'd be a different version anyway. So I'll be honest with you, his reveal 2-3 episodes ago, whenever it was, John,
quite
obvious, it wasn't one of those. We talked about it. We talked about Evan Peters going to possibly making an appearance, John. We called that one right. But when the moment did happen, my jaw didn't drop. I've seen some of these reaction videos, John. They're fake as fuck. Telling you. Oh, fuck off. Listen, do you not read? Just read the internet. It will give you rumours and you can make your own sort of decisions on that. But anyone getting into this, like Ray Charles, no. Everyone knew Evan Peters. There was a good possibility he would appear in this. And when he did, well, that makes it worse.
Stephen, it's like the people on YouTube who first time listening to a Beatles song, first time listening to, I don't know, some big artist.
Oh my God.
They're like 25 and they've never heard a Beatles song. It's like, come on, who are you trying to kid?
Yeah, John, I watched one the other day and it was a guy who watched Real Love, and he's like, oh my God, look at them. They're all so much older. Why is there only 3 of them in the video?
Stephen,
this doesn't make any sense.
Stephen, Mike in Twitch is going to kill you for that terrible American accent, I tell you.
That was Canadian, by the way.
That's Canadian. Okay, that's fine. Stephen, Mike suggests that Ralph could be the witness protection guy that Jimmy Woo's looking for. It was never really touched upon at any point. He's sporting an alias that could be Pietro, but I don't think so. They took the bracelet. Monica took that bracelet off him, or that necklace off him, and he lost his powers immediately, and she was able to overpower him. And obviously he's Ralph Bohner, and she's the new sort of super heroic figure that's coming out of this WandaVision, not a new Pietro, which is fine. I like Monica Rambeau. I always screw that name up, and I like the actor that plays her. So all in all, man, it wasn't to be. He's Pietro. No. Maybe opens the door for Evan Peters to play another character in the MCU at some point. Hopefully we'll find out. Maybe
Ralph
Bohner, yep. Maybe Ralph Bohner will become a mutant, and Ralph can be the
Bone Man.
Pietro. The Bone Man, yeah. His special power is having a boner. But Stephen, let's move on. And I know that's terrible.
This is worse than last week with Vision.
Fucking terrible, man. But Stephen, obviously at this point in the episode, the town centre scene happens. The residents are all gathering around. Agatha's up in the building. She's saying to her, and I've got the quote, I'll read the quote. There's some amazing quotes from Agatha in this episode, and just quotes in general in this episode. She says, Wanda says to her, what are you doing? You're making her say these things. She says, she's your meat puppet. I merely cut the strings. I love that. Agatha's such a good character. I want her to continue. I'm glad she didn't die and she's still hanging around. And that line she says to Wanda was very interesting. You don't know what you've created here or something. I'm paraphrasing. You'll need my help. And I think she says to her, I know where you are. If I need you, I'll come and get you, or I'll find you. That's suggesting we could see some collaboration between these two characters at some point in the future. What did you make about that town scene, Stephen?
You predicted that, John, last week.
Yeah,
it was good.
Comics have got precedent for it, Stephen. Of them.
Yeah, it gave us an insight. More of an insight. We kind of got a hint of it earlier on in the season, with people's minds. They're not in control of themselves. They're playing these characters, but within their own sort of subconsciousness, they're missing their families. Yeah, they're aware. They just want to get home, etc. It was kind of elaborated more in this episode, I felt, and you can't help but feel sorry for them. They just want to get home.
Write my daughter into the storyline. Is it Totty or something?
Right.
I can't recall her name is.
Something like that.
The blonde character who gets her hand cut in one of the episodes, people were suggesting she could have been another witch. Well, she wasn't. She's just a goon who's been controlled by the Sorcerer Supreme. It's not the Sorcerer Supreme. The Sorcerer Supreme is Stephen Strange.
Dottie, I think it was, yeah.
Dottie, there you go. Well, she does say a good line, Stephen, about her daughter. Can you write her into the storyline, have your kids, let her out the room, at least I want to hug her. And again, it's just showing you the manipulation, the controlling, and the damage that this has had on these people. And that's why Monica's comments at the end were really befuddling, and I'll get into that, I'm sure, in time, about they don't realise what you've sacrificed for them. Well, she's been controlling an entire town for 3 days, come on. What is going on here? But Stephen, I loved that town scene, and obviously her choking him, and then she realises, I'm inadvertently causing chaos here. I'm hurting people. She opens the hex up. The cinematography in that scene, Stephen, coming from the ground level on the street all the way up into the sky, the two visions are fighting. Hex vision starts falling apart and hits the ground. And we have Agatha saying to her, you've got a choice now. Look what you've created. You've created this world and your family are linked to it. You'll have to choose between Westview and your family. And she closes the hex again. And that's when all shit starts hitting the fan, Stephen. What did you make about the cinematography and the way it led into that sort of final face-off between Wanda and Agatha? What did you make about the two visions? And obviously, Stephen, we'll get into the actual vision moment and the vision scene in a moment, I'm sure. But what did you make about that cinematography, that sort of interaction between Wanda, the kids, Vision, the citizens?
John, the visuals in this television series is phenomenal. You forget you're watching television at times. You think you are actually watching a movie. Essentially, you are. It's like a 9-hour movie. It's split into parts, but visually, John, you can't fault this television series in that particular sequence you refer to.
Even the hex
Vision. Yeah, Vision. Like doing that, he's breaking away again. But even the kids are doing it as well. They're starting to break away. Their existence, obviously,
almost
is in
like
jeopardy.
a jigsaw puzzle. Strange. It was like a different.
It's great though. I liked it.
It was cool. Stephen, we've got another comment from Mike. His favourite line was, "Boys, take care of the military. Mummy will be right back." What I loved about that scene, because that was part of this sequence as well. What I loved about that was the two kids, or the little mini Quicksilver. I don't know if it's Billy or Tommy. I'm not that well versed in the comics, but him whisking around and doing his own little Evan Peters slow-mo scene. He doesn't. Does he take the guns away? I don't know if he does. He takes the hat though. And then we get Hayward coming out, the non-villainous Hayward, some channels are saying, try to shoot them. How the fuck can Hayward not be a villain? He's trying to kill little kids in this hex, man. He's a villain. The guy is a villain all day long, man. I'm not having it. Yeah, I love that line. There's a lot of good lines. My personal favourite line is at the end, though. It comes from Wanda speaking to Vision. I'll get into it. I'll say the line at some point, I'm sure. But Stephen, Vision v Vision, they're in the library. I can't recall what he says. Can you elaborate or something? And I think he says, why are you doing this? I'm here to kill Vision. And they're talking about what defines the real Vision. And I think they go into, I've got the theory here, I don't know, I'm not a sort of well-educated man in classical sort of mythology and shit like that, but the Theseus theory, if you replace all of the planks in the boat, is it the same boat? I just love that interaction, Steve. I'm not going to bore people by going on too long about it, but I love this interaction between White Vision, Hex Vision, them sort of using their logic to come to a commonality. And that moment when he presses his finger on that little sensor bit, it's not the Mind Stone, and all the Vision memories comes flooding back, and it goes yellow and then goes back to blue. I thought visually that was amazing, and for that character it was so important that this character didn't die for a third time, Stephen. We spoke about it, I spoke about it last night. Bad enough seeing this guy getting killed twice in 5 minutes in Infinity War. If he get killed again, I think I would have been wanting to hunt down Kevin Feige and do something to this guy, boot him in the balls or something, because we could not have Vision die for
Kevin,
a third time.
what is your problem with Vision?
He obviously hates Paul Bettany.
What did he do? Has he got photographs of you or something? John, I think visually, again, it was stunning. To see these two characters, the same character, face off with each other was excellent, but having that bit of dialogue in there as well, it was interesting. That theory you're talking about, John, the first thing that sprung to my mind, and I think maybe more UK audiences will know what I'm talking about here, Trigger's broom from Only Fools and Horses.
Yes.
It's had 4 different heads and 3 different handles. How can it be the same fucking broom? It's true though, and you get that sort of reasoning, John. You get that understanding what they're trying to establish here. What is the definition of Vision? Because clearly
is it the guy
the
with
White
the
Vision
memories?
thinks,
or is it the man who's a corpse reanimated, or is it both?
Exactly.
Stephen, look, I says from day one, I thought something. Well, not from day one, but from the moment that White Vision became a thing, I says that I thought these two would come together in some way. I think they would join. They didn't join, but he did kind of join because he opened up his memories. So I knew he wasn't going to self-sacrifice. You knew he wasn't going to self-sacrifice, Stephen.
John, I will say one thing though. I think that Vision, the Vision that's been in it from the very beginning, we'll say, I think he knew the end game. Pardon the pun. I think he knew what was going to happen. I think he knew that his existence was limited, and he had to pass that on to the physical version of him, if you like, to just keep those memories alive.
And Steve,
I thought it was well worked, and it kind of opens it up, John. I know that other YouTube channels were predicting that Vision dies. I don't think he does. That's, to me, he doesn't die.
Well,
not a chance.
Other YouTube channels are declaring a victory for their prediction, and that Vision had died, and I don't think he has died. Hex Vision died, but he was never alive in the first place. Real Vision, the corpse, was reanimated, his memories were brought back, and he disappeared, off to have a sort of, I don't know, a latte or something, maybe a chocochino, and then come back at some point when he feels it's right.
Chocochino, yeah.
Yeah, a Chocochino, yes. Stephen, man, I'm just glad the character survived, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see when he comes back. I love the fact he's getting
I don't think we're going to see him for a while though, John.
No.
I think Paul Bettany will probably step away from that role for the next...
Yeah, we'll go back and do Dryden Voss on Disney+.
Maybe 4 or 5 years before we see Vision again.
Oh, I hope not. He's getting on in years, Stephen. Paul's, nearly 50. We need to harness this guy while he's still in his prime. I love the deeper voice as well. I love that, the sort of differentiate. I'm doing it again. I can never say that word, difference. There's a word, difference between the two Visions. Not just aesthetic, but the voice. A lot of people thought it would be Ultron. I actually thought it would be Ultron as well. The last Ultron sort of drone that was killed in Age of Ultron lost its left arm. When he reanimated, he looked at his left hand. I thought, this is Ultron. What a way that would have been better than having a Vision surviving. But Stephen, let's move on, man. I forgot to say that line. I'm not the true Vision, only a conditional Vision. I thought that was brilliant. Again, from Bettany. All right, chaps, as well, was pretty damn good. It's just the way Paul Bettany speaks, or something about it. He's like an Etonian posh Englishman. It's just magic hearing the guy speak. But Stephen, Wanda and Agatha face off in the clouds. It was an amazing sequence. Agatha thinks that she is schooling Wanda. Wanda is almost giving up her power to her. She's gave up. You see her missing shots, and it's hitting the barrier of the hex. We don't know at that time, but as it's revealed later on in that sequence, she's putting the runes on the barrier, and I thought that was so cool. She's schooling Agatha. She's powering her up, putting these runes in place. What did you make about that sequence? The moment where she becomes Scarlet Witch. The shots from the bottom as well, from Vision and the two kids looking up and they're both hovering. I thought it was wonderful visually. But when she becomes Scarlet Witch, I've got it as a thumbnail, some bastardised version anyway. It's all red, the sky's red, she has the crown. Absolutely amazing. She looks stunning as ever, does Elizabeth. And the outfit's pretty damn good too. What did you make about that sequence, Stephen? Did that tickle your fancy?
I'll be honest, John, I did not realise that's what she was doing when she was misfiring.
I didn't either, Stephen. It was the second viewing I noticed.
At the time, it wasn't until I was on social media later on, someone had mentioned it. I went, right, okay. I just thought she was a shit shot. I think as well, John, she obviously learnt that lesson from the previous episode about the runes as well. Yeah. Only the witch creates the runes, can cast the spell. I'm paraphrasing, John.
Like that,
remember the exact line. It was good that scene was rejigged in favour of Wanda this time for this climatic battle. It was a great battle, John. It was fantastic between the both of them, visually and dramatically as well.
Yeah.
Two great actors.
Stephen, thanks for the lesson, but I don't need you to tell me who I am. Oh, what a moment. Absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to see what happens with Scarlet Witch. I still think in my heart she will be some thorn in the side of Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Madness. I don't think she'll be an out-and-out villain. But
an
kind
anti-hero,
of established in the end of WandaVision that she's thoroughly good within her heart.
Yeah.
But she can sort of, I don't know what the word is, but do some evil stuff without realising it. There you go. I'll kind of dance around about it. I loved that scene. It was a nice little ending. Obviously, she turns Agatha into the nosy neighbour. She keeps her in Westview until she needs her, perhaps. And again, she's saying, you don't know what you've done here. You don't know what... I can't recall. I'm paraphrasing. I've not actually got the actual quote in front of me. You have no idea what you've unleashed. I have got the quote. You're going to need my help. Yada, yada, yada. Great moment.
And that's the thing. She's the only one that does know what's been unleashed. We don't.
Yeah.
We can speculate. About multiverses and stuff like that, but I think over the last 3-4 weeks, John, about speculation, we might want to knock that on the head, because I think we're getting done like a kipper by Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Bettany, and the director for the last 6 weeks.
Yes, we'll get into that.
Luke Skywalker moments.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker moments, Elizabeth. Come on, Paul Bettany. You've always wanted to work with this guy.
I think it was Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
I think he wanted to work for himself. Yeah, they done his, Stephen. They done his big time. There was no major cameo. It was absolute bullshit. I'm still seething inside. I'm not. I don't really care that we didn't get Benedict Cumberbatch. I was desperate to see Benedict.
I was more bummed about the end credit scenes. I thought they were shite.
We'll get into that. I thought the first one was a bit shit. I liked the second one, I'm not going to lie. We'll get into that in a moment, Stephen. The beginning of the end.
I hate those aliens. Hate them.
They create the scroll.
Cheap.
They do. They look Stephen.
Fucking cheap.
You know what they put me in mind of? They put me in mind of the Romulans from the Next Generation Star Trek. There's something off about them. And I'm with you.
There's something from Red Dwarf.
I just
you like to go low budget,
investment in that whole Kree Skrull thing. I'm sure it'll turn out great.
I can't give a shit. I hope there's this big battle and they'll kill themselves very quickly. I would watch that Captain Marvel too.
Yes, and Brie Larson somehow manages to die in it as well. That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Yeah, look, Stephen, I'm sure Kevin Feige will find a way to make it great. If anybody can make it great, he'll make it great, but I've got no investment in it at the moment. I know they're bringing Nick Fury in. I think it's Nick Fury that's calling on Monica in that end scene, but I don't give a shit, man. I says to you, I just want to see Spider-Man. I want to see Doctor Strange. That's all I'm invested in at the moment. If we get anything from Eternals and Shang-Chi, brilliant. If we get anything from Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Loki, brilliant. They're my two ones that I'm super excited for, though. But Stephen, man, before we get into the end credit scenes, I'm sure we'll speak about that in greater detail in a moment. What did you make about the beginning of the end for the Hex? The two kids get tucked into bed. Wanda and Vision know they're dying. They're getting erased out of existence. barely a moment really. We do get a moment. It's quite emotional. We do get a moment. Boys, thanks for choosing me as your mom. You know, we're family forever. We could never truly leave each other if we tried. You know that, right? It was sad, but how did you?
John, I think it was the best way. You got to remember, this is a Disney orientated channel as well. You're not going to get the kids being killed off on screen, and I think it was the most satisfying way to do it. You know, that they weren't aware about what was happening outside. You saw it out the window, just at their bedsides. The hex was, coming.
Do you think they're in a pocket universe, Stephen?
I think the end credit scene, which we'll get into, John, kind of suggests that. But I think the scene down the stair when
that was
Vision puts the light back on, it's such a nice moment. It was. And again, John, you've got to feel for the character. You know, he knows what's about to happen. After all that guy's been through, this was more a peaceful parting than we got, obviously, in Infinity War. But he came to terms with it. And I think because he passed on his memories to the White Vision, I think that helped him accept it. I think one of the lines was actually between Wanda and Vision was, we'll see each other again, wasn't it?
I've got them down, Stephen. I've got the big long quote. I love the little moment where he switches the light on, as you did say, and he says, "Perhaps I just wanted to see you clearly." And there you are. I thought that was brilliant, the two of them looking over. I'm invested in these two guys. I love the relationship. You shouldn't really be invested in a synthetic organism and a human. It shouldn't feel right, but it does. And that's down to Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen. The big one that I love, Stephen, Wanda, I know we can't stay like this, but before I go, I feel I must know. And she says, "You, Vision, are the piece of the Mind Stone that lives within me. You are a body of wires, blood and bone that I created. You are my sadness, my hope, but mostly you are my love." I thought that was a great callback to that flashback scene where he says, "What is grief if not love prevailing?" Persisting, I think.
That was the answer to it, wasn't it?
It was great, wasn't it? And Stephen, I think that's really important because it's confirming that she has part of the Mind Stone within her. There is no more Infinity Stones in this universe because Thanos broke them up, killed them, destroyed them.
You speculated on that very early on about the Mind Stone and her connection to it.
Yeah, I thought...
So you were right.
Yeah, I thought it was maybe alluding to why they have that connection. He has the Mind Stone and he did. She has part of it within her. They have that sort of connection on that level. And I think that hints that she's imbued him with the Hex Vision, with part of the Mind Stone, and he's now passed that on to the White Vision, and that's how Vision is now Vision. I just thought it was a beautiful ending, Steve, and those two characters parting ways, even when he's disappearing, it's only his face. I think he says, I can't recall what he says actually. "So long, darling." Just brilliant, man.
It was a good scene.
It was a good scene, and obviously it ties up that Wandavision story, lovely. But Steve, in end credit scenes, let's get into it, man. I've said in my notes, did you give a fuck about the Kree Skrull stuff? Over to you, Stephen.
No. John, I'll be honest with you. You messaged me this morning and said, make sure you watch them, and I went, oof. I want to watch these before I watch the episode, but I didn't. I watched the episode first.
No, it's more the end one I was talking about, Stephen. The mid-credits.
And I watched the first one and thought, what the fuck?
Stephen, you know what I was doing? I was setting it up to make you think that Doctor Strange had come in, just because I knew that I'd made myself look like that. I wanted to try and pass it over to you a little bit. Didn't you, though?
I think that's John. I think that's why I said last week. I've not really been talking about Doctor Strange because I'm not really sure how that would work, and I'm not really sure for consistency wise it would work either. But if they put him in, great. But I think by the point of the end of the sort of story, the end credit scenes, I knew were going to be nothing revealing as such. I don't think there was anything revealing between, not jaw-droppingly, just okay. Where are we going with this? Not with the first one. The first one was a lot of shite. That's just setting up Captain Marvel 2. I don't care about that. Monica Rambeau, a fantastic character. I hope they're just not going to pigeonhole her into Captain Marvel films. I want to see her in other films.
Stephen, I think she's Photon or something, isn't she? That's the actual superhero she is. She can manipulate energy. I want to see that character standing on her own legs and not being the sort of side player to Carol Danvers.
Marvel, yeah.
But I think with Stephen, in fairness, I think Captain Marvel 2 will be good. It's getting set up as an ensemble sort of film, so I think it will probably be decent.
Have to be, yeah.
It has to be to sort of get over the hatred half the fan base has for Brie Larson. They'll have to do something special.
John, I don't have hatred. I do not have hatred for that actor at all. I don't really mind her, to be honest with you. I've seen her in films and I've liked her in films. I understand she rubs people up the wrong way, but at the end of the day, I don't want to marry her. I don't want to be her friend. I just want to see her acting good, and she is a good actor, to be fair. She is a great actor. She won an Academy Award.
I think she was born the exact same month as me and the exact same year as me, so I should like her. No, same year, October 1989. Yeah. She's younger than me. She looks older. Yeah. But obviously the end, I jest, she doesn't look older. The end credit scene, the final end credit scene, I liked this one. I know you weren't overly enamoured by it, but I did like it. It's setting up the concept of multiverse. There's two Scarlet Witches.
I was more... I think I was more invested in my thought process was how long after the events of Wandavision is this, because she's got a fucking great view in that house. How did she get a mortgage on that?
Steve, do you not think it was like Thanos at the end of Infinity War? Did it not have similarities to him coming out of that little hut?
I felt there was a moment in which, John, there's parallels there, but I think sort of when the camera was panning over the lake and you saw the mountains in the backdrop, there's sort of something Tibetan about it, and I felt, is this Doctor Strange? Why are they putting him in an end credit scene? This wouldn't fit now. I was glad it was Wanda, to be honest with you. I was glad. I know you weren't, John, but I think for obviously the bigger picture, sticking one of the biggest characters in an end credit scene when it doesn't make any sense, at that point. If they were going to do that, they should have done it within the episode, not in an end credit scene.
We got the next best thing, Stephen. We get hints of the Doctor Strange theme. She is obviously looking at the Darkhold and reading incantations and being a bit of a sorceress. That is a cursed book, she says. I think Agatha, the Book of the Damned, and we have Scarlet Witch delving right into it, using it. That doesn't bode well for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
She was doing that Doctor Strange trick where he was sleeping in his... Do you remember he was studying in his sleep? Yeah. It was exactly the same thing.
Very cool. It's sort of out of body, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. Stephen, I think Stephen Strange is absolutely going to have some collision with Wanda or Scarlet Witch in this Multiverse of Madness. I'm not going to get into theories again, though, because I could be miles off. I don't know what's going on in the head of Kevin Feige, but it's setting it up. They're setting it up. It's not immediately obvious that they're setting it up, but it's subtle. Subtlety will just have to do, but we'll have to wait another 2 years.
That third end credit scene with Tobey Maguire we can talk about now. Amazing stuff.
It was, what is it?
He's not aged a day since the...
You're away, Stephen, a little bit there. What did he say? What was the Billy Maguire famous thing? What is his fame?
Put dirt in your eye.
Put dirt in your eye, yeah.
You gonna cry?
Oh, God. See, if we have Tobey Maguire in this No Way Home film, they have to somehow fit in some reference to I'm going to put dirt in your eye. They have to do it, man. I have to see it. I'll be raging about that, just like I was raging about Ralph Boner. Even now, I can't even take it serious now, man. When I hear the fact that Evan Peters said Boner and sniggered, he's laughing at his own name. What a tit. But Stephen, final thoughts on this episode, this finale, the show in general. We spoke about the future of Wanda already. We don't have to do it. We've already spoke about the future of other characters. I think, well, we haven't. We've not mentioned Billy and Tommy crying for help and then Wanda whisking off. But we'll get into that, the future, in a moment. What was your final thoughts on this finale? Did it live up to the expectations? Did it do enough to stick the landing for you? Because it certainly did for me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
There was a couple of nitpicking moments in there, but it was a really, really good episode. It concluded the story of Wanda and Vision pretty damn well. We've got a new Scarlet Witch. We've got a new superhero in Monica. It's setting up different projects. I think it done just enough. And this TV show in general, I have thoroughly enjoyed. Much better than I could ever have imagined. I was originally excited for Falcon and the Winter Soldier more than this. But this is now kicked off this new phase of MCU. And I tell you what, Sam Wilson and Bucky have got a job in their hands trying to eclipse this, man. So good luck. And I'm looking forward to it.
This episode, John, was the icing on the cake, if you like. I felt it kept consistent throughout the season. It's interesting to think that Kevin Feige's swaying over another season of this, which they can do. I thought,
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't touch it. I would leave it the way it is, John. But there is possibilities that they can. Overall, I felt this series was the sort of test in the water with audiences to see if they could accept the next phase of the MCU going into a multi-dimension storytelling with different species from other universes, that kind of thing. And yeah,
I've already had the wizard.
Yeah, different walks of life, and I think this series has proved with the response from the fans that I've not heard anyone saying they hate WandaVision that's watched it. No. I've not. Everyone loves this who watches it.
Stephen, you do know one.
Your dad, yeah.
No, he loves it. He watched it today.
Does he like it?
He loves it, man. Yeah, he watched the finale today while I was out. He absolutely loves it. I'm talking about another individual who actually hates it. Yeah. And you know who I'm talking about, Stephen. But anyway,
I never watched it. Yeah,
never watched it yet. But Stephen, future of Billy and Tommy, what do you think is going to happen with these two kids? We've got another comment. Mike Porter does share my Thanos vibes. He thinks it looks like Thanos as well. I thought so. Just coming out and sitting, little cup of tea, nice zen-like peaceful existence. A little bit too isolated for me, though, I have to say. I like to have some connection to reality. And he also confirms that it was Doctor Strange theme at the end, so that's good. Subtle, does it?
Excellent, yeah.
But Billy and Tommy, Stephen, I hope it is Billy and Tommy. It now. What do you think's in the future for these characters? I suggested they could be part of the Young Avengers, a potential Young Avengers story plot at some point. Do you think they'll ever make the jump out of this pocket universe, another dimension, if you like, become firm fixtures in the MCU as part of a Young Avengers lineup with maybe, I don't know, Iron Lad and all of this shit, and a new Haley Steinfeld Hawkeye? What's your thoughts in the future, man? I'll throw you under the bus.
I hope I'm out of the MCU before that happens. I'm not interested in that. Billy and Tommy, I jokingly said last week I didn't think the stakes were high with the cliffhanger last week as far as that's concerned, because we never really got to watch these kids grow. Yeah. Well, we did in one episode, from babies to 12-year-olds or whatever they are. But I think we will see them again. Whether it'll be the same actors or not, I don't know. Probably won't. Ain't that one, Margaret? But I think if you're asking me, do I care? No, I don't really care if I see them again. I think once I'm onto the Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision will stay in my mind, but it will be for Paul Bettany, it'll be for Elizabeth Olsen, Catherine Han,
Monica Rambeau.
Jimmy Woo. I remember her name.
Darcy.
Jimmy Woo.
We didn't even speak about Darcy, Stephen. She had one moment and she T-boned Hayward, so that was decent.
Yeah. I hope we see more of Darcy.
Stephen, future of characters. Do you want to see an X-Files show featuring Darcy and Jimmy Woo? I do.
No.
No, you don't? No, I do.
No, we've got the X-Files for that.
No, a different X-Files, an X-Files style show. I don't want to see them being recast as Fox Mulder and Dana Scully. That'd be terrible. No,
I don't think so, John, because I was never interested in Agent Carter, and I like Peggy Carter as a character, and I like the actress that plays her as well. But I was never interested in the series, so I don't. Yeah, Haley Atwell. I don't think. I don't think so. But getting back to the kids, John, I think they'll probably be forgotten about in my head very quickly. I don't really give a shit about them, to be honest with you. I wasn't caring if they were getting strangled or not. Not my kids.
Steve, they are pawns.
They're not our kids. They're fucking figments in their imagination.
That's what John Campea says. I'm going to come out and say it. I was watching John last night. You get me hyped up to hell for this, man. If I wasn't hyped up already with his pre-game show, 4 hours long. I don't know how the guy does it. But he says it as well. Kids weren't real. So, no. And it's true, they aren't real, Stephen. I think they will have a future, though. I think Kevin will fit them in some way. I think we will have a Young Avengers ensemble at some point. Whether I'm still of an age to actually give a shit about it when it actually happens is another thing entirely. Stephen, as you can see behind me, really all I give a shit about is Thor. I'm not even pointing at the right thing. I care about Thor and that shield. So I'm just happy Chris Evans is coming back, and he is coming back, and I cannot wait to see how. And they better not make that fucking Chris Evans cameo an evil Captain America in the multiverse. That better not happen. I want to see a TV show with Steve Rogers getting back and placing those Infinity Stones where they should be in the timelines. I want to see him on Vonnemeer with Red Skull, slapping that bitch about like an empty tracksuit. But Stephen, look, I loved the show. I loved what it done. I love how it set up new projects. I don't know if we're even going to rate it, Stephen. Are we even going to rate it? Do you want to rate it? We've not even came to a conclusion over the rating. Have we got a rating for this?
Well, we're rating the films now with letters, aren't we?
Yeah.
I would give this either a B plus or an A minus.
Well, we'll go B plus. There you go. We'll put this shite little animation in. There you go. It's a B plus. Woo!
Yeah.
Wow. There you go, a B plus. I loved it, and that's going to round it up, man. What is your thoughts? Thank you very much for commenting, Mike. I do appreciate it. He watched the episode 3 times. I'm only 2 times deep. And at first he was disappointed Doctor Strange didn't make an appearance, but he came to terms with it. I've not. I just love seeing Benedict with that cape, and I want to see him back again. And 2 years is too long. But it's not 2 years. He's in Spider-Man, so we'll see him at the end of the year. Unless I've made that up again like I did with WandaVision. But look, that's going to sum up our review of the finale of WandaVision. Steve, it's sad, it's over, but we only have to wait a week and we're into Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so it'll be on your left again with Bucky this time. But look, what's your thoughts on the finale? How do you think it handled it? Do you think it stuck the landing? What's your thoughts on Pietro being Ralph Boner? Did it enrage you? Did it make you laugh? What's your thoughts on anything in general? You can comment down below if you've got anything to say at all. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the follow button on Twitch too if you want to see more content like this in the future. And if you do, that's what you'll get, guys. But look, until then, bye-bye. Bye. Stephen, that was like the... What was it? I remember when that cat used to be white. Bye, Mike. Thanks for commenting.